They're hard to see, but even harder to record. It is obvious to us that we are talking about birds that fly away from Poland in autumn for the winter. However, we rarely talk about the fact that birds also come to us for the winter, and some inhabitants of the areas located to the north of our country do this. The direction of winter migrations is approximately from northeast to southwest. It is therefore not surprising that for some species living in Siberia or Scandinavia, Poland, located in Central Europe, may be a warm country, especially if the winter is harsh in the north. An interesting species in this context may be the rook. We meet representatives of this species in Poland all year round, but they are not always the same birds. Most of the population migrates to the south and west for the winter, and at this time birds from the north and east come to Poland, making it difficult for us to notice the changes taking place. So rooks are present in all months, but birds migrate, and in winter many of them are these who come to us from the east to spend the winter here. A typical species that visits our country in winter, while it can be found in northern Europe during the rest of the year, is the waxwing. Waxwings nest in the northern part of Europe. In Asia, they occur in large numbers, for example in Scandinavia. Depending on the availability of food in winter, waxwings decide to migrate. These may be shorter or longer migrations in search of places where food will be available in sufficient quantity. Not long ago, I could observe these birds here, in the middle of the city, on these very trees. When they come to Poland, waxwings appear in flocks. It is not a bird that stands out for its size, which is why many people may not notice that there are new guests in the area. However, it stands out by its beautiful appearance and voice, which is difficult to confuse with any other bird's voice. It resembles the sound of little bells and can sometimes be the first signal that it is worth looking for waxwings in a given place. It is worth observing trees and shrubs that can provide animals with food, which mainly consists of mistletoe and mountain ash fruits. Representatives of birds that come to Poland for the winter can be found in various parts of the country, but the real treasure trove of such species seems to be the Baltic coast. In winter, we can meet many species of birds on the waters of our sea, and some of them we see here mainly at this part of the year. One of such species is, for example, the velvet scoter, which floats on the water behind me. Soon he will probably fly to the coasts of Estonia, Finland and Sweden. This species nests in Northern Europe, Asia and North America. But in winter it is present on the Polish coast and can even fly deep into the country. It is associated with the sea, but can also be seen near inland reservoirs. It feeds mainly on mussels, crustaceans and fish, for which it can dive to a depth of up to 30 meters. Now that I've already seen a black duck, I'm looking for white birds floating somewhere on the water. I hope I'll find some long-tailed ducks too. Beautiful ducks from the north who spend the breeding season in the cool climate of Greenland, Scandinavia, Iceland and northern Russia. Long-tailed ducks come to us in the winter to spend this time on the Baltic Sea, but they are not always easy to see. Most birds stay close to the deeper areas of our sea that are further from the shore. These ducks can dive to a depth of up to 60 meters in search of food. Wintering places, including our Baltic Sea, have a particularly romantic meaning for birds. That's exactly where the long-tailed ducks pair up and then move north again to breed. I would like to see another species of duck, somewhat similar to the long-tailed duck, but I will leave that for another day. It was worth getting cold to see that sunset, but now I need some hot tea. The smew can be found in the whole country in winter, but it is also abundant at the seaside. Like the long-tailed duck, this bird initially appears as a white speck on the waves. There were a lot of white spots, as well as birds, but this time I wasn't lucky. The smews were nowhere to be found. It was necessary to change the search area. Smews also use wintering areas to find a mate. Unfortunately, I did not manage to see them at sea, somewhere among the waves, but these birds occur in various water environments in the country. These may be rivers, their estuaries, bays or water reservoirs located near the coast. So I thought that the lake in the Ptasiraj Reserve might be an interesting place worth visiting in search of these birds, because maybe this is where you can see them. The tower located in the reserve is intended to be used for bird watching. It turned out that the search for smews from it was a really good idea. These birds will return to Scandinavia and Siberia with the arrival of spring. It is worth looking for them in our area, because watching them is a real pleasure. It is even more worth it because we clearly notice the fact that as a result of climate change, more and more smews spend the winter in areas located more northeast of us, and fewer birds come to Poland. Nowadays, however, there is still a lot happening on the Polish coast, and it doesn't matter whether the sea is calm or rough. Regardless of whether we scan the waves while standing on the beach, look for animals a little further from the shore, or look around the area somewhere inland, everywhere we can find birds that are here all year round, but also those that visit us only in winter. In winter, surprisingly, you can still enjoy bird observations, and it is worth keeping your binoculars close to you. As you know, everything depends on your point of view, and sometimes Poland can be a warm country perfect for a winter trip.